Hi, I have just been organizing some of my yarn, which I need a break. So, and look, that's how much I've done. Two pre-caked balls and then the rest of mine. But I should have done it before because the tub was just a joke. But I've decided that there is some natural light coming in my little corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to photograph some new advertisements for my spooky season knitting kit that's being launched on September 1st. And I thought I might show you guys my process, because if you're thinking of creating your own small business, or you just want photography skills, I am by no means an expert. I don't know what I'm doing. However, I have been told by a couple experts, brag, that my photography skills are actually quite decent. So I just want to show you what I do and what I use, so that if this is something you're thinking of doing, you don't have to go out and buy loads of rubbish. You don't have to buy like the top gear. I'll show you exactly what I've got and what I do. So first things first, I do have a tripod. Now I've been using it more of a light, because the light is just absolutely beautiful. So I do have a tripod. I'm showing you the honesty that is my work area. So I work at my dining table. This is my dining table. Oh. Now most people would be absolutely disgusted with this. I love this. You know why I love this? Because it shows how hard I work, and I work incredibly hard at my little small business. Pokemon cards, because I do also love Pokemon. I've only just recently joined this Pokemon franchise though, so don't start sending me like, "Ooh, who's your favorite?" I don't have one yet. But anyway, I've got a tripod. Now I'm very lucky. I was gifted this. I was very, very lucky. I was gifted this secondhand. The ring light is actually broken, but it still works. This bit, the phone holder, also broke, so I had to try and get a new holder for it. I literally just use it now as a light more than anything else. For it to actually hold my phone, I use this, which is a broken tripod that I got from Poundland for £4, but I'm not going to go into my detest for Poundland and their prices. And I literally hook it, I will show you in a second, but I hook it on like that. That's how I get my phone on. It's ridiculous. But this is all about photos today. I'm doing photos, not recordings, but that's how I would actually record my work. And other than that, I also use, meow, 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 these. So my little boy, I'm keeping these to build him a fort and whatnot. But I also use the likes of a big box where I balance the tripod on top with a dumbbell, and that works just as well. So yeah. Oh, we've also just come back from holiday, so apologies for the suitcase. But anyway, how do I take my pictures? I will show you. I have a little table. There we go. So I take my little table. I bought this from Argos for, I believe, I don't know, £8, £12, I can't remember. I put it in my doorway where I've got lovely natural light, and then I grab my card. So from Hobbycraft, I bought this. It is a foam board, A2 size, so that I can then balance it on my little coffee table, and I've got a much wider surface straight away. Whilst I was also at Hobbycraft, I also purchased some large pieces of card to fit the board, so I have a wider surface. But also with the wider pieces of card, you can obviously angle it upwards, so you get a nice clear background shot, which I can show you later on. But I'm going to be doing flat photos. I'm going to be doing them from above. And then I had these. These were the first cards I ever started off with. So that's why the majority of my pictures will have a blue, yellow, or the purple doesn't actually, it's annoying because the purple looks gorgeous here, but normally it comes out grey. It doesn't work as well. But this yellow and blue has kind of become my brand colours, if you will, because I use them so often, because these were the first pieces of card I ever bought, and I bought these ones from W.H. Smith's. If I just zoom out. And look, they're getting all creased, so I will have to invest in some more. But this is what I use. This is it. So this is how I will photograph my work now. I'll set it up, and I'll probably open the second back door, so I definitely get a nice bit of natural lighting. and then I'll take my pictures. It is so the pictures I want to do today are to show off my new spooky season kit knitting collection, or knitting kit, sorry. So the idea is that I want to do some above photos to show the products, but also to show the yarns as well. So this is my mini pride and joy. I did this yesterday because I was just getting really fed up of not knowing what blooming yarns I had and how many. So I wanted to create individual holders for each colour. I gave up shortly after an hour because it just got a bit silly. So I've actually just stacked them up instead. But they're still movable, and I have them in certain categories, which makes sense to me, but no one else. So the idea is I'm going to take the colours out for each kit colour variety and have them next to the things that you can actually knit, so it can show people, oh right, so using all of that, I can do that. I also have some on my wall which I need to take down because I was taking some photos yesterday, like setting up a little bit of scenery as well. So I'm going to get all that prepped, and then let's talk about angles, let's talk about layouts, let's just talk about what I do and why. Okay, so what I'm doing, I've got my yarn colours. So these are the colours that are just one of the knitting kit availabilities, and I'm just going to start collecting all of my pre-made items which I've made using all of these colours, which makes perfect sense. Might not use all of them, but I'm very much, it's better to be safe than sorry. I'd rather take all of them out and not use them than be toing and throwing in the box every 5 blooming seconds. Just not that way inclined. Ghost. Because you know, when you've made something, you look at it and you're like, oh, why did I do that? I'm having that with some of these ghosts, you know. They're just, yeah, it's not a huge fan. I think it's just because I've stared at it too long. Do I have any more? I know I've got more ghosts and I can't find them. Never mind. Right, I think I've got everything that I can use anyway, So I'll move that box out of the way. Okay. I was debating whether I wanted to include some knitting needles or not. I am going to include some knitting needles because, you know, the whole point of this is to show people this is what you can make using this kit. So I am going to include a pair of knitting needles. Now, I don't really know. I want people to be able to see that you can take these balls of yarn and create something beautiful. So I think I'm just going to start working out on the layout of the actual pumpkins and the autumn scenes first. I love to have, I will show you an aerial view, so don't panic, but I love to have a nice clear gap in between my pieces. I like it for many reasons. I feel like it helps for the light to travel through. It's just a lovely little bit of symmetry. Everybody loves symmetry. Symmetry draws us to the eye. So people love a little bit of, oh, symmetrical. Oh, that's symmetrical. Oh, I like that. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Acorn. Acorn is my favourite. I love the acorn. It's a pain in the backside to make, but it's worth it. Because once you've made it, you've made it. No one can take that away from you. Right, do I want another pumpkin? Yes. I'd rather put in too much and take away rather than have not enough and feel annoyed. Right, okay. So all I've done here, I've laid my pieces out. And again, I will show you an aerial view, so don't panic. You're like, well, that's bloody useless. I can't see, woman. You will in a minute. Call me beans, man. Oh, forgot the wind. Oh, this happened to me the other day. I'm going to have to shut the door. It will reduce my lighting, which means I'll have to turn my ring light on. That's not the end of the world. However, what is the end of the world is I've locked that in position, so I've got to move my board. Excuse my backside. Come okay. Oh. It doesn't matter. Now I do edit my photos, I do, but not a great deal. I'm not one for filters, and I will say that now, and I'll stand by that for the rest of my days. I don't do filters, but what I will do is I will adjust lighting levels. So for example, this is now going to be quite a cold shot because I've had to close my door. So I will adjust the temperature of the photo, and I'll only adjust the images until I get a very clear similarity of, well, that's what the colour looks like in natural light. I don't do, apologies. I don't change it to make it look pretty so people buy it and then they get disappointed because they don't actually have what they wanted in the first place. But here we go. So I've laid out all my pieces, and because it's an above view, what I would do now is I would use my phone and the camera setting to make sure that they are evenly spaced. I'm happy with them. If I want to change the orient of any of them, the colours. So I try to keep the colours as separate as possible. So I don't want a green by a green, a red by a red, a yellow by a yellow. And I've got a red by a red here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the acorn there and put that leaf there. Simple things. But I've got more red leaves than anything else. So there we go. I'm happy with that layout. Now this is going to be quite a big shot. So what I'm going to do, like I said earlier, I want people to, just broke my ring light, never mind. I want people to be able to look at this and go, wow, I can make that with those. Heck yeah, I'm going to want to buy that and learn how to knit. So I'm now just going to play around. I'm now going to play around with the compilation of the yarns. Do I put the yarns? I think I'm going to do several. I'm going to do one first of all where the yarns are next to them, like so. Maybe do a side. So I'm taking photos as I go here, and what I will do is I'll put the photos at the end of the video. So I'm sorry it keeps going from portrait to landscape and vice versa, but it's just so I can take those quick shots. But actually I think what I would prefer, for the yarn to be amongst the items. I think that would look way better than just on the side, because they're on the side at the moment and like it's all right, but it looks a bit too clunky. It looks too clunky. It just looks a bit like we're just sat here chilling on the side. It looks like these are the husbands of the wives waiting for them whilst they're shopping, or the other way around. Please don't start sending me junk about femininity and feminism and all that malarkey. I am a feminist. I do believe in all of that. I do. Sometimes I just say things without thinking, and that was one of them. So yeah, and I'm not going to edit out because this is just me. So, and if you don't like it, then you know, don't be here. Not in a rude way, but that is the kind of person I am. So it's good for you to know now. Now I'm just doing a couple of angles. I love an angle. Okay, I quite like that. But how am I going to incorporate these? I wonder if I can just plonk them in. Ooh. Okay, I quite like that. Again, sorry I'm going portrait. I mean, I could just say portrait. Landscape. Oh, I do quite like that, you know. Well, that was a happy little accident. I don't like that. So I'm going to swap the big for the little. Yeah, I prefer that. Right. Okay, I love this little happy accident. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to spread this out. I want to try and fill the entire sheet, and I'm going to put the balls of yarn amongst the bits and pieces. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've spaced it all out. I don't normally work to, if I zoom out, I don't normally work to an organic shape. By that I mean I don't normally make it into a square. I like to fill the whole area. However, I'm now thinking of, you know, the whole social media thing and my photos for Etsy, advertisements, etc. So I will need them to be square. So I'm just playing with this whole square thing because I really don't, it just feels a bit too, I don't know what the word is. I want to say stagey, but that sounds stupid. I don't know. I just don't like it. But yeah, so I'm happy with the layout so far. I preferred it when it was more organic and less shapely. I've kept my distance between all my pieces. Now, I have struggled to keep everything separate. So I've struggled to keep it so that there's not a ball of yarn next to a ball of yarn, but that has been quite difficult. I have kept the acorn in the middle because I love that as a focus point. And now what I do is when I have my camera and I'm recording or I'm just taking photos, so I'm going to zoom in now. Zoom in. Sorry, this phone is so broken. I really do need to get a new one. There we go. Beautiful. Right, really happy with that. But what I will do is I will also do a little a video, so that if I can then use them for reels, b-rolls, etc. So that's why I'm just moving it around now. And then I'll do a little ooh, zoom in. Oh, look. And I will take so many photos of the zoom in, because I know it depends on your camera. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh no, I love that. I know it depends on your camera and what camera you have, but I find sounds so stupid. So I have a Samsung Galaxy 22 Ultra or something like that, and I actually find it takes much better photos when it's in video mode. But this is what I'm looking for. So I know it's going to seem really trivial. I've got too much negative space here, so I'm just going to take my little acorn and move him. That's much better. I prefer that. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but yeah. So there we go. I've got loads of b-roll, and I've taken a boatload of photos, which I just love. And there we go. So that's one colour variety. If I just zoom back out. But like I said, at the beginning, I had everything spread out. So it filled the entire, got a little mark there, hide that. So it filled the entire board. It just gives you more to play with. It plays with the layout, plays with the colours, etc. I was debating whether to bring some fairy lights in. So I have fairy lights, like little micro ones. So I was debating whether to bring them in and later, oh gosh, am I going to do that? Oh, I've got 2 other colours to photograph. And it's not like I'm going to run out. Oh no, yeah, it's okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. Why don't we put? Let's try putting yarn here. Move Mr. Ghosty there. That's a bit better, I think. Or no, because I've got Ghost here. I like this triangle. Ghosty there, yarn there. That's where I need to. So I might have to bring bits in a little bit, but that's okay. Right. Yeah, I might bring in some fairy lights and just give it a go. I know it's not, it's cold. I know it's not hot or anything. Oh my god, dark, woman. I meant dark. But it might just give it a little extra touch. So I'm going to go do that. Do you know what? Now I've done this, I prefer it as a square that it was. God, I think I've just destroyed my own values and my beliefs. Nah, they'll come back. They do. Right, okay, cool. So I'll go get this fairy lights and see if that will make anything any better or worse. Okay, so I went over with some fairy lights that you can see here in the photo. No, it wasn't right for me, so I decided to go against them. But that's it. That's basically how I set up my photos, and that was the whole point of this. The whole point of this was just to show you behind the scenes of how do I set up for my photos, and that is it. I don't have really expensive stuff. You can see that the area in which I work in is not clear, and if my mum sees this, she will flip her lid. But I have a happy space that I like to work in, and therefore I do better work because I'm happy and my space just happens to be messy. So there you go. But yeah, that's it. I hope anybody found that useful. I know it's long, I know I babble, but like I said earlier, this is the kind of person I am, and if you don't like it, then maybe this isn't the place for you to be, but just food for thought. But anyway, I'll leave you with that, and I often say at the end of my tutorials, and as always, happy knitting, but I can't say that here because you might not be knitting, so as always, just happy businessing. I wanted to show you how I edit my photos or change them. So I'm going to use this one as an example because this is 100% natural lighting, like you could see that, but because it was natural lighting and I didn't have much of it, the image looks a little bit cold, and there is a way to warm up the image using really basic filters and editing tools on any gallery. So at the bottom, you'll see some little toggles once you go into like the editing bit anyway of your photos. And then I go to the little sun and it shows up all of my suggestions as to what I can do regarding changing the image. And the most simplest thing you can do is go to temperature. So if you've had too much sun, you can cool the image down to remove some of the brightness to make it colder. Or like me, if you've not had enough sun, you can bring the temperature up to help add some warmth. And now, other than the ghosts that have gone a little bit, they've got a little bit like a brightness to them for some reason, a little bit of blue. The background color, and if I hold down, so you can see the original, and now you can see the finished piece. So that's the only way that I edit any of my pictures. I don't fiddle or faff with anything else, and I only edit them so that they are true to what I see in front of me. I only edit them so the colors are what my eye can see. I don't bother about, I don't know, using contrast to necessarily make them sharper or whatever. Like, that would be a beautiful print perhaps, but if I'm selling this, that's not suitable for my consumer, because it's not a real depiction as to what the product is. It's ultimately a lie. So that's what I do, and that's what I wanted to show you. So yeah, really hope you have found that helpful, and as always, well, I would say happy knitting, but it's more like happy small businessing.